All right, so we have here the Rossignol XV MagTech, the Jones Flagship, the Yes Pick Your Line, and the Burton Flight Attendant. James, what are we doing with these boards today?
We're doing a comparison of 4 of our favorites. All 4 of these boards are great in their own way, and it's just always fun to go out and just alternate. Matt, Jimbo, and I just kept switching out every few runs and rode for half of the day and played around with all of these to kind of give you a comparison. They're all great boards, and they're all you know, favorites for one reason or another. And we just kind of wanted to do a little sampler, a little switch around here. We set these all up 23 inches wide, -6 in the back, 15 in the front. Everyone had the same Burton diode bindings. I only have 3, so we switched up on the XV. But we just wanted to kind of give an overall feel, and I'll just give a quick summary. Like, you know, this is the bomber of the crew. Wouldn't you guys agree?
Very true.
And
Straight liner.
it's a board that gets cranky if you're going slow, gets angry. It wants you to go fast, it wants you to straight line. It loves to carve at high speeds. And I mean, it's got a nice little boa camber in the back, you know, a real healthy dose of rocker. So it's a great powder board. It's a great board in uneven powder, but uneven groomers is just like, it just doesn't like it. So it's more of a morning bomber board, and you know, you can attest to the speed. Matt, you were straight lining a lot on this, and
it just loves to go fast. It wants to go fast. It's slow, it doesn't want to turn. You start going and it does what you want. Nice, slow, mellow cars, but 50, 60 plus miles an hour and you're solid, and it holds its edge good.
Yep, and you're upwards towards 70.
Good rebound too, and, off the carbs.
Right.
Yeah, and then this is the board that I recommend the most for people who ride in icy conditions. And of these 4, these are all surfy, directional free ride boards. But of these 4, this is definitely the most set back surfy feel of all of them, and has the best edge hold. And you know, it's a fast board too. These are all
stiff.
4 of these are fast boards.
Torsionally stiff on this guy, so.
Yeah, and it's got a nice soft tail, so you can actually butter really easy on the tail for this, which is fun in powder. It's real easy to wheelie and cruise around. So, but this also is the most washy if you really don't put your, you really don't get a lot of weight on your back foot. You really need to set that turn with your front and then commit as far as you can to your back, and really just lean into it like you're making a bottom turn on a big hollow wave. You know, that's what this board is. Then you have 2 boards that are very similar. These both have their own unique personality, but these kind of have a little bit of overlap. I would say the Flight Attendant is the board that feels the most like closest to a double ender and to an all mountain board, yet it's still surfy and directional and set back, but it just has that, it has that overall kind of just, hey, I can ride switch here and there. You know, I can center this up and ride switch okay. It's not great, but it's good. These are both, I'd say, the fastest turners. This has the tightest radius. This one, you know, the Rossi XV is the one where you can carve like a circle easier than every other board, but these initiate the turn faster. They're just so quick edge to edge. And
I agree with that.
The Pick Your Line, I think, is the fastest edge to edge, but it's like these 2 are tied in so many categories. And you can see they both like have a significant amount of camber. This has camber from the tail to about, you know, the insert, where this has camber from about like here to about like here. And you can see this one's close to being, to feeling more of a double ender, but it's definitely with this now, with this tapered underbite technology, I find that this feels a little more tapered than it used to. The old Pick Your Line used to feel a lot more like the Flight Attendant, but this new tapered underbite gives it a little more directional surfy feel, even though the stance is a little more centered on side cut. But both are great. This is the pop, gets the pop award out of all of these, just because it's probably just because of that extra camber, and Burton really knows how to build a poppy board. But this is really close.
Great on the rebound on that. I love in the turns.
And this is second in terms of edge hold. And this is probably has the least edge hold. So if you're riding in harder conditions, this will be the least fun. If you're riding in harder to icy conditions, these 3 boards are probably better. Yeah, but the Rossi's the best, and then these 2 are kind of almost tied. I almost like this one a little better. But it's really hard to say which one I'd love as my own board. I like all of these for different reasons. I'd say I probably a little more, I'm kind of in between. I love super fast turning boards. That's kind of my thing. So I would probably pick between these 2 as my favorites. But I know, like, Peter would love this.
Yeah.
I know people who ride in icy conditions, when it's icy out, I'd love that.
Yeah, like down like the Paranoid Flats.
Yeah, I'd say probably it's probably the PYL for me, but I could go in either of these boards, and I just love this board for like just going out, you know, carving and just kind of not being 100% free ride, you know. But guys, what's your take now on all this, you know?
I really like both the Burton and the Yes board. They're both very similar, like you just said. So both are good carvers. They have good response down all the groomers, even down like the steeper groom blacks like Cornice. They held together very well. Overall, I would pick these 2 boards for, again, the different conditions. So if you want a screamer board that will go fast and also work in powder, Jones board, that's your key. And then the Rossi's great for icy or just harder conditions. But overall, I like the Burton. That's my pick, but you know, very close seconds, yes.
And
Yeah.
Jimbo, what would you say?
Well,
What's your take on all these
my
boards?
take on all these boards is I like to take them across the trail and go fast and try to turn them all uphill and see if they'll make a circle in the snow.
Yeah, we were just a
And-
carving trio today.
Yeah, I like to try and get it to go. I like to try and get my body close to the snow on my toe edge and on the heel edge. And I was just having such a blast today. It's echoing a bunch of things that James says, pretty much, and what he says too. I mean, I got to ride him down Cornice Bowl. I got to ride him down Gully. I got to ride him on screaming wide open blue runs, and they were just all so much fun. I was having such a blast on this guy. I would love to take him in the trees and see what he can get up to.
Yeah.
And this one in the gullies, a gully like Lower Dry Creek or Gremlin's Gulch. This guy all day, every day. Wide open groomer, screaming groomer, where I have the place all to myself. Going this guy right here, and then if I've got variable conditions and I want to challenge myself on some steeps, but maybe it's not the most ideal time, but also this good snow to get after in there. Coming after this and this.
And if you want to be the most
Taking all
surfy,
4 of them.
yeah, if
Yeah.
you really
Taking
want to
all
be
4 of these
surfer.
out. Can I have them all?
XV.
Let's go.
Well, this is why these are favorites. You know, there isn't really one that just, you know, maybe to each person there's one that might truly stand out and be your board, but these fit like a wide variety. They're all stable. They all love to carve. They all float really well in powder. Jones and the XV probably have the easiest float, but these 2 are pretty close behind. They're just just a little shade off being perfect, but still you can set all these boards back a lot on the board. And we were riding these a little more centered today. Yeah, this one
The
you can
Burton
set way
especially
the hell
with
back.
the channel system.
So if you gotta
Yeah.
pick one board, you know, for your quiver, all of these are
God,
pretty viable,
hard.
you know, depending on
Yeah.
where you live in the United
On-
States or worldwide.
on 3, say your favorite board. 1, 2. Ah, nah.
Pick your line.